Okay, welcome. This is Senate Institutions. Today is March 10th, 2026. And today we'll be speaking with Molly Flanagan of the Green Mountain Club, and then we'll also be discussing S-193, and we might talk about H-50 also. So we'll introduce ourselves to you. So I'm Wendy Harrison, and I represent the Wisdom District.
And I'm Rob Plunkett, Venice District.
Joe Major, Windsor District.
Just in time.
Russ Ingles, Essex District.
John Benson, Orange District.
Great. Yeah, so thank you for being here, and let us know what you think we should know about the Green Mountain Trail. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I am Molly Flanagan, the Director of Land Conservation at Green Mountain Club. Thank you so much, Chair Harrison, and all the members of the committee for inviting us to come in this afternoon. I'll just share my brief slide deck, so you have something else to look at. So let's see. Yeah, great. Where's my mouse go? Okay, that'll do for now. Great. Well, Green Mountain Club submitted our annual report on the status of the Long Trail Protection Campaign back in January. I brought hard copies in case you'd like to see that report again.
Yeah. Thank you.
So a summary is included in that written report, but I appreciate the opportunity to come in today, of course, to answer any questions that you have and to give you an opportunity to hear about the historical context behind this work, why we come to you every year to talk about long trail protection, recent long trail protection successes, and how GMC is approaching this effort going forward. So 2026 marks the 40th year that we've been working on this partnership together. It's quite a milestone. The Vermont General Assembly and Green Mountain Club undertook this long trail protection campaign, a bold vision as it was summarized by the General Assembly, a unique, historic, and irreplaceable resource whose protection is of a great benefit to the people of the state of Vermont. That was a joint resolution in 1985. That stated that the General Assembly supports the efforts of the Green Mountain Club to protect the Long Trail system. So when we started this effort, only 66% of the Long Trail was on protected land. The rest was on private land, where private landowners could manage their land as they will. So that was about 90 miles of the Long Trail. And here is a map the map on the left shows northern Vermont. So Camel's Hump is in the bottom portion of the map, and the green is the conserved land at that point in 1986, and all of the gray land was privately held property. So the Long Trail is the red dashed line in the middle. Most of the trail in northern Vermont was across private land. The map on the right-hand side is the current status in 2025, where the yellow parcels are the conserved lands that together the Long Trail Protection Campaign has brought under protection. The green parcels are other conserved lands that have been protected through other efforts. So in the last 40 years, we have worked together with private landowners, the Vermont Department of Forest, Parks and Recreation, and other conservation organizations to legally protect over 80 miles of the Long Trail system and serve more than 25,000 acres of land, add over 16,000 into the Vermont State Forest system, all through over 100 different real estate transactions. And most of this work has happened in northern Vermont. Some of it has happened south of Camel's Hump, but it's just too hard to show on a map. So I edited it just to show northern Vermont where the preponderance of the work has been. The General Assembly has been key in making all of this work possible over the last 40 years by contributing over $3.5 million in appropriation funding through the state's capital bill over the years. A lot can and has changed in 40 years, but the value that the Long Trail system brings to the state still holds true, and so does the importance of protecting that landscape to make it a world-class hiking destination. So thank you for continuing to choose to support this initiative. So where do we stand today? There are 4.5 miles of Long Trail still on private property with no legal protective. So that's spread across about 14 different parcels. So it's 300 feet there, 1,000 feet there. I think our largest chunk is just under 1.5 miles. And that's spread through the northernmost part of the state, south to the southernmost part of the state. It's literally statewide effort. The Long Trail is now 98% legally protected, so that's up from 66% protected when we started this effort 40 years ago. So our work together has been tremendously successful. But the thing about a long distance hiking trail is that every foot matters to make the system work. And so until all 272 miles of the Long Trail are legally secured, there will remain a risk to the character, the continuity, and the public access of this trail system. In addition to the Long Trail proper, GMC manages 173 miles of side trails. So those are hiking trails that in general run from the valley up to the ridgeline, and they offer a diversity of day and loop hiking opportunities to our state. Of those 173 miles of side trails, just over 12 miles are on private land, and that's spread across about 26 different private parcels, also scattered across the whole state. Now, most of the hikers that are on the Green Mountains in any given weekend are out there as day hikers, out to enjoy the splendor of the mountains for a few hours rather than overnight. And so these side trails make all those day hikes possible and are of tremendous value to the state. And so GMC is committed to also seeking legal protection for those side trails. Finally, the club is looking into protecting the full trail corridor, which we define as 500 feet on either side of the trail, to protect the remote and natural character of the trail, keep it a place where people want to recreate. So there's about 85 miles of the Long Trail. There's 85 miles of Long Trail where we don't have that full 500-foot buffer for the trail. So we're seeking to cultivate land protection projects where possible, and those are spread over 300 plus properties. And we're reaching out to those landowners, being who's interested in cultivating a land protection project with us. So in the last year, GMC has successfully wrapped up the Deer Camp Tracks project, which is in Johnson. This map shows the location of the property that is now fully wrapped up and added to the Long Trail State Forest. It's just south of Plot Road in Johnson. If you know the trail, it's just north of Round Top Shelter. So this year we did the last step of the project, which was incorporating it into the Long Trail State Forest with a GMC and Vermont Housing and Conservation Board retained conservation easement for the Long Trail on the property. This project was financed through a unique opportunity, one that we were lucky to take advantage of, but probably won't happen again. There were Long Trail protection funds available because in 2023, 2 properties down in the Killington-Chittenden area that were part of the Coolidge State Forest were transferred into the Green Mountain National Forest, and $85,000 became available because of that transfer. The project was also supported by a grant from the Vermont Housing and Conservation Authority. So GMC purchased the property in 2024 from a private buyer, and we held it for a year to keep it off the real estate market until the state was ready to take ownership of it. It's a small but mighty property. It's only 12 acres. But as I said earlier, every foot matters. And so 300 feet of the Long Trail the property, it fills in a gap in the Long Trail State Forest because the state forest is to the south and east of the Deer Camp project. It provides additional road access and management opportunity for the state forest system, and it adds that forested buffer of 500 feet for the Long Trail. Another project that is in development this year is the Mad River Corporation land in Facein. You've probably heard about this in the news. The corporation's land is outlined in blue on this map. And in 2025, a private buyer put in an offer on the property, and that gave Mad River Glen Ski Cooperative an opportunity to consider exercising their right of first refusal on the property. And they decided to go for it. And so very quickly, within about 5 or 6 months, they raised the funds needed to buy that property and just closed on it late last month. So it was a huge effort of that community and creates an opportunity to bring it under conservation. The ski area has committed to placing a conservation easement on the property, which is very exciting because it's a beloved skiing resource. The Catamount Trails crosses the eastern portion of it down near the road, and the Long Trail crosses the western portion of it up by the ridgeline. It's 1,100 acres. And the Green Mountain Club has been coordinating closely with Mad River Glen to help educate them about what conservation looks like and offer ourselves as a resource. And we are working with them for their future plan, hopefully a conservation easement on it, which will protect the 300 feet of the long trail that are on that property. So looking ahead, the Green Mountain Club is devoting a renewed focus to long trail system protection thanks to a strategic conservation plan GMC adopted in 2023. There's a little web address link on your handout if you're curious to learn more. There's some cool maps and stuff to explore on that. It's also just on our website, but it's our vision of how to carry long trail protection work forward. Protecting the long trail is a top priority for the Green Mountain Club. However, we must work at the pace of willing private landowners. So each property that hosts the trail has unique circumstances that require time to curate and develop the right land acquisition opportunity. GMC is continuing to aim for full conservation of the properties by purchasing the land outright, and where appropriate, adding it to the state forest system, which is how we've largely done this work to date. However, some properties are more appropriate for a conservation easement or a trail right-of-way easement, where the landowner can retain ownership, but the trail can be legally protected. And so, in short, we're using every tool in our toolbox to design trail protection projects that are right for the hiking trail and for the landowner to achieve our long-term goal of protecting the trail system. And we're working statewide within each community. This is a map that shows basically the same properties as the table on the back of your handout, which just summarizes kind of the number of properties in different counties that we're pursuing. It's very hard to show a map of the long trail on a statewide system, so I always struggle, and I apologize, it's not great. But we have priorities statewide that we're trying to pursue. At this time, unfortunately, none of them are actionable. None of them are under a purchase and sales agreement. And so I can't speak about any of them specifically. And we have no funding requests, no project support to ask for with this legislative session. But we really appreciate the opportunity to do an update. And I look forward to coming to you in future years when we do have actionable projects for your consideration. So
That's wonderful.
I'd be delighted to answer any questions, but really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you. And we've heard about how just access to nature and trails is economic development as well as something good for our residents and good for the environment. So
Yeah.
there's multiple reasons. Yeah. So thank you for your work.
Yeah.
Does anyone have questions?
No, I just have a comment. Thank you for not asking for money.
I know that's crazy.
First one, this theory is very challenging.
I know.
But
There's
there's
no job.
some not add to it, but
There's others.
There's no job. Just hear it.
Just to hear it.
Yeah.
But she's not asking, so she's
Yeah, that's
a good
perfect.
steward.
Yes. Yes. But you're also here, so we won't forget about you next year.
yeah,
That's a
very,
good plan.
we've had a long partnership and, we understand things can change over 40 years, but we hope that we can continue partnering to bring this long-term goal. We're all carrying a torch handed to us from other people.
Right. It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
What is the 40 mile, you said 40 miles that isn't protected?
It's 4.5.
4.5, sorry. What is the status of a lot of that? Is they say just use it, I just don't want to, I don't want it to be out of my control? What's
Yeah. It really varies by the property. And they all have their unique reasons. Some of them are institutions and they aren't willing to give up any kind of role, but their mission is very aligned with public access. Some of them are like there's a family that's been on their land for generations and they want to continue to give their future generations every opportunity to manage the property as they see fit. And so they just don't like the idea of restricting future opportunities. So it really varies. But we're taking a relationship-based creative approach. And so we're looking to use any tool that we can throw at it.
Doesn't sound like any of it's at risk.
We don't think any of it is, critical. It's all important to achieve, but it's not, none of it keeps me up at night worrying that some property will get posted.
Yeah, when my sons hiked the whole thing, finished last summer.
Oh, nice. Last summer was tough because it was so dry. people were running out of water in like the middle of August. So it was,
Not good.
but up here, yeah, hiking, but, good weather. Some people managed to hike the whole Long Trail without any rain. It's just, a unique experience. We gotta get some rain.
That's not the full experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Nice to see everyone. Let me leave this meeting.
All right, so we're gonna take a just 10-minute break till 1:30 when we have the next folks.